It's the Illegal Elbow Show. Alright people, we're back. Want to throw a quick video out to you guys. Yeah, quick my ass. My videos are never quick, man. I always got too much bullshit to say, but UFC 155, a little afterthought, some comments for you guys. First off, out the gate, oh my gosh. I'm a big fan of Cain and Junior both, you know what I mean? But I expected Junior dos Santos to take this fight, you know what I mean? Just based on what his whole career in UFC's looked like. And let's go ahead and get down to it and say it. You know, we've seen Cain in some tough fights, all the way up to the championship. You know what I mean? We've seen him in some very tough fights. I think there's a couple different kind of fighters that we kind of look at. You know, you got them guys that are really good with one specific thing, and they seem to capitalize on it. And it almost seems like, you know what, Junior dos Santos kind of starts to lean in that area. You know, a lot of guys really haven't tested his chin. You know, a lot of guys really haven't. A lot of people saying being that Cain Velasquez went in the first fight injured. Which I don't know. I mean, it's probably true. You know what I mean? I think a lot of fighters, we found out that a lot of fighters go in injured. Being in their first fight, Junior dos Santos took it so quickly, I think maybe it went to his head a little bit. The question is, really right now, today, you know, the day after, how does Junior dos Santos come back? That's really the question. You know, a lot of people, how does Cain Velasquez come back? How does Brock Lesnar come back? You know what I mean? How does Randy Couture come back? You know, it's that fighter mentality. Did he get his will broken and he's not going to be back as strong as he was before because he had the championship, you know, it was a good career, you know, whatever. Anyway, just a quick thought before, you know, I run into the card, and I wanted to go ahead and announce thus the title of the video. I'm eating my words. Cain Velasquez, man, hats off. Hats off. Amazing performance. The first to really rock Junior dos Santos. Get him reeling, get him on the defense, get him not knowing where the fuck he is, what he's gonna do. You know what I mean? Somebody had to do it sometime or another, man. They had to get him. Honestly, man, I didn't think Cain Velasquez was the guy to do it, but he was. I will not doubt him again. You know, he's like I said, man, fighter types. You know, Cain's one of them kind of guys. You know, how does he come back? He's the kind of guy that will go back to the drawing board, back to square one. Check out everything he did wrong. He's proved that, man. He's proved that already, you know what I mean? His whole road in the UFC has been a very shiny road, man. I mean, it's a promising future for the guy, you know what I mean? I still think there's somebody out there that's going to catch him, like he's been caught before. You know, whether he weathers the storm or not, who knows? But I think Junior dos Santos has got a granite fucking chin because they came out and said, you know what, no, his jaw is not broken. Which I'm probably jumping in from the last video that I tried to post. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys about this real quick. I just tried to upload a video straight to YouTube, you know, without doing my own editing and all that kind of crap, which that's what I normally do, you know, Illegal Elbow Show, blah, blah, blah. YouTube fucking sucks, because you know, I shot it straight from a webcam, you know, straight from your webcam, whatever, and upload it to YouTube. It didn't work. Didn't work worth shit. Which is probably better anyway, because I like my videos edited better anyway, because I can add my own shit to it. Awesome fucking win, man. Awesome win. Hats off to you. You're the fighter. You're a better fighter than I ever thought you were. And I'm eating my words, man. Thus the title. I'm eating my words heavily. Let's go on to the bottom of the card. Take a look. Take a little look-see at my failures as a fight predictor. Last night, I should say. I got 2 and 6. I started out with Todd Duffy taking out Philip DeFries. Duffy knocked him out. It's kind of what I expected. You know what I mean? They brought him back in and a lower guy. Not dissing on DeFries by any means, man. He's 9-2 for a reason. You know what I mean? He's taken out some good opponents. He's been in the UFC a handful of fights. You know what I mean? So I don't want to completely rag on the guy. You know, maybe we'll see him back, and maybe he'll kick ass. Who knows, man? That's one fight I did guess correctly. I thought Duffy would win. Moving along to Melvin Guillard taking on Jamie Varner. I thought, you know what, Jamie Varner just coming off a loss to Joe Lozon, I believe. I like Varner a lot, man. I think he took off the fucking sunglasses, got rid of the fucking flashy intros and it's all about me kind of a deal, you know. Jamie Varner's been in there with the likes of the lightweight champion of the UFC, Donald Cerrone. I mean, he's been in with some real fighters, man. He's been in with some badasses. So, and that's one thing, you know, we can't forget. You know, we have to think about that. Taking on a Melvin Guillard, I thought, you know what, Melvin Guillard is one of them kind of guys to where Like I said in my video before this event, Jamie Varner's not the kind of guy to get Melvin Guillard in an area where he can be submitted, which, like Melvin Guillard has seen tough times against in the past, you know, against a really good submission artist. I thought, you know what, Melvin Guillard stand up, probably could take out a Jamie Varner, you know what I mean? Because Melvin Guillard, I mean, when he's on, man, and he's sick with striking. I mean, his strikes are second to none, man. I mean, when he's on. I don't even want to say something was wrong with the guy. I mean, he just, you know, Jamie Varner came in, and I don't know what these judges were thinking. Actually, the two of the judges had it right. One of them was a fucking complete idiot because it was 30-27 by two judges for Jamie Varner. 30-27. And Jamie Varner took the whole fight. I mean, let's just, there's no two ways about it. 30-27 by two judges. The other judge saw it 27-30. Totally, he saw it from Melvin Guillard. Did the judge really like to see Melvin Guillard on his back, taking punches, or on his feet, getting punched? He took that shot really well, I thought. I don't think so. I mean, are you an idiot? So, you know, that I don't understand. You know, some of these judges really need to kind of... Jamie Varner took Melvin Guillard down whenever he wanted to, let him back up, beat him up a little bit, took him back down whenever he wanted to. I mean, it really wasn't... Varner had the perfect game plan coming into this fight, and I mean, I would have never... I wouldn't have thought so, and I didn't think so, and hats off to Jamie Varner, man. Awesome performance. I'm so glad to see him back in UFC, man. I really am, big time. I think he's a great-hearted guy, good fighter. Melvin Guillard had some beef with him. I think it was UFC on Fox, or UFC on something. UFC on PAX TV, I think it was. You know, a little while back, a couple weeks ago. UFC on TLC, I think it was. UFC on TLC 4, I think. Jamie Varner was, or Melvin Guillard was like, you know what, I got a lot of respect for Jamie Varner as a person, but I've lost all respect for him as a fighter because they're back there talking about him, you know, suspecting me of greasing and all this kind of shit, you know. I don't know if you guys knew about this. Like I said, it was a couple, it might have been UFC on FX or something like that, or UFC on Fuel or UFC on FX. It was one of those two cards where they were originally supposed to fight, but the fight got brought to this card. And I thought, you know, they put that in my head, and I thought, well, what the fuck, is Varner trying to get around this or something? I mean, what's Varner trying to do? So Melvin Guillard said, you know, the fight's off. You know, the whatever commissioner, whoever came in and said, State Athletic Commission will not let Jamie Varner fight because he's throwing up all over the place. After taking the first comment as a joke and still warming up or whatever, you know, Varner thinks you're greasing or whatever, taking that as a joke, and then now hearing that he's throwing up all over the place. It's like, what the hell's going on here? So that's when he said, you know, I got no respect for Jamie Varner. You know, as a fighter, you know, I got a level of respect for him, you know, as a person. And saying that kind of stuff, I thought, you know, I kind of got it weighing a little more in the Melvin Guillard area, because I honestly, you know, jumped on that, and I kind of thought, you know, maybe Varner's trying to duck something. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows, man? None of us know for sure what's in a fighter's mind, you know what I mean? But why would he do that? Why would Varner do that? Well, here's the answer. Varner kicked his fucking ass. And hats off, man. I mean, major props. I doubted Jamie Varner in this fight, and I will not doubt him again, man. That was awesome performance. But hats off to Varner, man. Great performance, great win, excellent fight. Brad Pickett taking on Eddie Wineland. I thought, you know what? Brad Pickett, one punch Pickett, is going to fucking take this, man. Because Eddie Wineland, I've seen Eddie Wineland come out there and just get in these fucking brawls and just get bloody and get nasty and just, no, man, no. We've seen a brand new Eddie Wineland, man. This guy fucking looks awesome. Looked awesome in this fight. It was a split decision win. But at the same time, I mean, he made him look a notch down from where a lot of people thought he was, in my opinion. Like I said, man, I saw a new Eddie Wineland. It looks like he went back to the drawing board, did a lot of work on his counter shots, you know, and his timing. Great win for Eddie Wineland, man, really, because Brad Pickett's, I mean, he's coming off a couple of good wins. So, I mean, it's great to see him pull this win off, you know, and Pickett's not going nowhere, you know what I mean? He's looked really, really good. Sweet performance for Wineland. Got a hand for the guy, man. I didn't think it was going to happen, man. I thought Pickett was going to take that fight, and I got it wrong. But Chris Levin taking on Derek Brunson. Derek Brunson, I mean, Derek Brunson's still kind of a newbie. You know what I mean? I don't want to say a newbie. I mean, he's 12 fights in. You know, you're talking about Chris Lieben. He's 30-some fights in. That's a big margin, of experience. And I always believe experience, real solid experience, is outside of the obvious traits that you have. Lieben's got a great chin. You know what I mean? But Lieben's known for getting, you jack his jaw, and he's got that psycho look like, okay, I'm awake now, and here it comes. That's the kind of fighter Lieben's been his whole way through. Brunson, man, did everything he had to do correctly. Throw a few punches, keep Lieben at bay, take him down. Utilize the wrestling, hold him down, beat him up a little bit. When he gets back to the feet, do what you got to do, work your distance. Derek Brunson did an awesome job when it came to Chris Lieben. Awesome job. Another fight that I called wrong. Like I said, 2-6. This is my first video I'm doing on my failures as a fight predictor. But, see, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not going to go ahead and, talk about how great of a predictor I am. None of us. We're all going to make mistakes, man. Alan Belcher. I had Alan Belcher for the win, man. Yushin Okami just fucking... Yushin Okami rolled around with Alan Belcher pretty much in the pocket the whole time. Alan Belcher wasn't going nowhere. Yushin Okami was fucking there to win it. In it to win it. Got it, man. It was an awesome job by Yushin Okami. I wouldn't say he's title bound by any means, anywhere close. But he's also proved that Alan Belcher might not be either. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Konstantinos Philippou versus Tim Boetsch. I guessed Philippou. I actually got that one right. Philippou just really had too much for Boetsch. It was a good matchup. Whoever came up with the matchup, obviously Joe Silva, whoever. Probably a tough matchup for Tim. I think he's given up a little bit of reach. You know what I mean? And they're both being strikers, and good heavy hitters. It's just Philippou right now is on the rise, man. He looks really good. Tim Boetsch is coming off a win over Hector Lombard too. So I thought maybe if Konstantinos Philippou wins another fight, in heavy-handed fashion, maybe a Konstantinos Philippou Hector Lombard fight kind of be a good idea, even though the Hector Lombard we saw fight Tim Boetsch was not the Hector Lombard we've seen in probably years. I thought, what, two heavy-handed guys, it might not be a bad fight to see. I could probably pick a few other people that would probably stack up a little better with a Hector Lombard. I think if there was a Tim Boetsch Hector Lombard fight again, I think it would go a little differently. Just my opinion, man. I'm a huge fan of Tim Boetsch, man. I like Tim Boetsch a lot, but he's good. He's good at coming back. He's one of them guys that got booted from the UFC before, fought his way back in some lower promotions. UFC saw it and was like, dude, come on back, see what you can do here, man. And Tim Boetsch right now 16-5, so we'll see, man. He's not no young buck anymore. You know what I mean? But he's still got some plenty of game left in him. So. Joe Lozon taking on Jim Miller, man. I thought, Jim Miller, last couple fights, things have kind of looked a little rough. It's really tough to call, man, because these are two fighters that are both good in submissions, great in submissions, and great on the feet too. And I thought Joe Lozon right now is concentrating on, if it goes to the ground, I use my submissions. Obviously, it's in stand up, all speed. Let's just fucking go for it, all speed. Jim Miller jumped all over his ass. Jumped in quick, got some shots in before anything was even possibly gonna happen. Jim Miller jumped in, got the shots in, got some nasty elbows, cut Joe Lozon all the fuck up, and it was nasty, man. It was nasty. Props to Joe Lozon for sticking in there and taking it, man, all the way to a unanimous decision for Jim Miller. But man, hats off to Jim Miller, man. Badass performance. And I knew he had it in him. I knew it all along. Same with Joe Lozon, man. These guys both have it in them. It's just, whose night is it, man, really? That's what that fight was about, because both these guys, any given day of the week, would beat each other up, you know what I mean? Except on Sunday. Yeah, back to the main event, man. Joe Lozon Jim Miller was a badass fight, probably fight of the night, if not Jamie Varner and Melvin Guillard, but could have all taken fight of the night, those two fights. But like I said, man, about the main event, I've already gone over it. Because he's been there before, he's lost before, but it was long before UFC. It was in literally the first 2 or 3 fights he lost. So, he may as well have been coming in obviously in the UFC he was undefeated. him taking this loss after getting the belt, I think him getting the belt was a little bit of a premature thought in his brain, thinking that, you know what, if I can catch Cain Velasquez, the champion, with one shot like that behind the friggin' ear, and catch him, put him down, and finish him up, then he probably got a shitload of confidence in his own boxing and everything else. When in reality, Cain Velasquez went into the fight. A lot of people say he went into the fight injured. A lot of shit to be thrown around, but at the same time, I don't want to take anything away from Cain. Cain is the kind of guy that when a fight doesn't go your way, whether he wins or not, you got to go back and see what you did wrong. You know what I mean? And take that into account. There's so many factors that are on the line, man. There's so many factors that come into play when you're a fighter like that, man. And Cain Velasquez is going to be one of them guys who's going to be in here for a long time. You know, chin checked or not. But Junior dos Santos got his chin checked last night. We saw it firsthand. It was almost, to me, it was almost like a little bit of, oh, I'm a little upset because I'm such a big fan of Junior dos Santos. And I'm telling you, man, since late 2008, early 2009, I knew Junior dos Santos was going to be something. And still, I still know he's going to be something, you know what I mean? With what he's done in the UFC so far, with little skill that he's used. I'm not saying little skill that he has, but with little skill that he's used to get where he's at. You know, right now being basically in the mainstream and the #2 fighter. It remains to be seen, man. I mean, where these two guys are going to be in the future really remains to be seen. So, man, I hope you guys appreciate it, man. Comment, sub. You know, comments are down there somewhere. Sub, I think, is up here, one of these spots. But, anyway, man, I appreciate you guys checking them out, commenting, all that good stuff. If you haven't commented yet, at least say something, man. Come on. It's been fun, man. I'll see you guys next time. Bam! It's the iLLegal Elbow Show.